everybody. I'm doing another indie interview today of a fabulous indie author. Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself and everything you do?
I am Sarah Vaughan. I write children's books, and I write books like this, Mary the Hairy Fairy, and books like this, Timmys Time Travelling Toilet. And I also run a non-profit organisation that I'm just registering as a charity called the Playwell Trust, which is part funded by the sales of my books.
That's amazing. So all of your books?
All of my books,
wow.
I donate 20% of the profits back to the Playwell Trust.
That's absolutely amazing. So what does the Playwell Trust do?
So the Playwell Trust, I launched it last January, and we promote the benefits of play for children and families where children have serious illness.
Okay.
So at the moment, we're not actually sending boxes because I can't get to the post office, but normally we send boxes of play equipment to families who maybe have a child on chemo, or I've sent some to children with autoimmune diseases and all sorts of things where they can't go to school and access that sort of thing. So I send it home for them to use at home and in the hospital.
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
And then, so that came before your books?
About the same time. It all happened at the same time.
Wow.
I needed a reason to finish writing books.
Yeah, and then if they're going to fund that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's my reason.
Oh, fabulous. So tell me about your 2 books then.
I've got 3, but I've got 2 with me. So this is Mary the Hairy Fairy. And I wrote that for my daughter, who didn't want to get her hair cut. Mary the Hairy Fairy has a fear of hairdressers.
Right.
She wants to be a tooth fairy, but she can't because her hair gets in her eyes and she keeps falling into things. So
that's cute.
She flies into the window, through the window of a little girl's bedroom, and between them they fix her hair so that she can see where she's going.
That's really sweet. And did it help with your little
girl?
Yes, you did.
She has had her hair cut since. Not much.
I've got a little girl with really, really long hair. She just never ever wants to get it cut.
No.
Oh, that's a really nice idea. Okay, and then tell me about Timmy's Time Travelling Toilet as well.
So I wrote Timmy's Time Travelling Toilet, this one, with my son, who is now 12.
Yeah.
He's on the autistic spectrum, and he's got a real thing for history. His knowledge of history is amazing.
Yeah.
So we started writing this story about a little boy, and it grew and it grew and it grew. And so it's about a boy called Timmy Turner, who's extremely clever but doesn't get on very well at school because he doesn't like his teacher. And Timmy likes to invent things in the shed with his dad. And he's in the bathroom one day trying to make the water go the wrong way round in the toilet, clearly. and he decides that the best thing to do is to flush the handle up instead of down. So the water goes the other way. And him and his sausage dog, who's called Mr. Poops, get flushed away back in history, and then they help different people in different times.
That's so cute. And so is that more of a middle grade fiction, or what age is that?
Yeah, I would say it depends how well they read, or if you want to read it to them. I've double spaced it so that it's easy for dyslexic children, because my son's also dyslexic. So I would say 7-ish up.
Yeah, like a first chapter book, kind of.
Yeah. And it's got ancient Egypt, it's got the Tudors, and it's got Florence Nightingale, so all your curriculum covered. Oh,
that's lovely, and so nice that you worked with him as well.
He was amazing. When I didn't know things and I would read it to him, he'd go, "Oh no, that's not right. They didn't wear that. They did this." And then
that's so nice. And then what about your 3rd book then?
The third book was a book. My husband is an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You can that's one of his paintings behind me.
Very nice.
He's an artist, and when my son was little, he would not give up his dummy at all. He just wouldn't do it. And so my husband drew all these pictures of places that his dummy could go, so it would go and help other people. And I found them in the cupboard. And so I've used his illustrations and then written a story about a boy who needs to give up his dummy, and his mum gives them away to all the people that they can help.
And what's that called?
It's called Where's My Dummy?
So I love how that's all just related to, it's all like inspired by your children and parenting, and that's really nice. They're brilliant. So are all of those independently published, or?
Yes, I've done them all on Amazon so that I can then be in charge of the money and put it back into the charity.
Right, it makes it easier to control that way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a really good idea. So you've just gone Amazon all the way. That's the way that you publish
for
everything.
now, but that's because I don't know anything else.
No, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
And so how was the publishing process for you? Now you've been through it 3 times.
Well, Mary the Hairy Fairy was my practice book.
And who illustrated that? Did you?
Me.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
I have to learn to illustrate as well.
I'm doing that at the moment. It is hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
But, so I illustrated it, and my mum is a photographer, so she photographed all the illustrations and then cut them all out and cursed me for drawing tiny pictures.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Between us, we managed to format it on a page, and so nothing moved and nothing disappeared. It took a while, but that was the trickiest.
Got it figured out.
And the second one wasn't as difficult. I think I got the hang of it a bit better. Just about managed to fit things on the pages.
So are those illustrations by you as well?
Some of them are, and then some of them I gave to my husband and went, I can't draw this.
Oh, it's a real family affair. I love that.
Yeah, we always vote them in the end.
Yeah, this is it. If not for anything else, then to be like, oh, is this okay? Is it good enough?
Stop laughing at my picture.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I had to tell my husband that the other day. He wasn't even laughing at the picture, but it was, you just get that reaction. You're like, oh, do you mean? No, stop being so sensitive.
It took ages.
So did you use anyone else? Any other external?
No, not yet.
No.
Us.
You had them edited, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah, my lovely friend Lizzie. We did a swap. So I am also a reflexologist. So we swapped time.
Oh, that's lovely.
She read my books, and we still do that. So.
Oh, that's brilliant. So really good to have, have her input on it, and that's a really cool way of doing it as a swap, a skill swap. So have you what have you learnt along the way? What tips would you give somebody who was trying to do this?
Don't try and do everything all at once.
Right.
I have to say, when I write books, I write about 3 or 4 at a time.
Right. Okay.
I go to the one that's most interesting to me, and I'll write a bit of that, and then I'll go to another one.
Right.
Focus. But in the end, they all come out at once, so it's quite good.
You just get loads all at the same time.
Yeah. I always have a notebook and a pen around, so I just write bits as I go along.
Yeah.
Definitely get them proofread and edited, because Lizzie picks up so much stuff, things that I didn't even know were a thing.
I found that when I got it edited, and when I had Milk edited, and I had the things being picked up, and I was like, really?
She has to give me grammar lessons often. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So, definitely get them edited and just read through.
Yeah.
Word doesn't edit enough.
No, and sometimes Word gets it wrong as well.
Puts in random words and you go.
Yeah, for sure. And so, where can people buy your books? Are they just on Amazon?
They're all all on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just search for Mary the Hairy Fairy and Timmy's Time Travelling Toilet.
Yeah.
They're all on there. And I have got a website. I can't remember what it's called.
I'll make sure I link it so that people can follow that. That's fab. So are you working on any projects at the moment? 10.
Many. I'm working on one with my son.
Oh.
So over the past 4 years, we have made a Dig for Victory garden in our garden as part of his history obsession.
Yeah.
And each year we write blogs about it. So that was, because I homeschooled him for a while, that was our literacy. So we went in the garden and we grew this stuff. And then once every summer for a week, we live off of rations, of wartime rations.
That is commitment.
It was quite good fun. And then he grades my cooking and and we write a little blog about what we've done every day. So that's now turning into a whole book.
Oh, that's exciting.
Activities and history and bits and pieces like that.
And how is it working with family? How is that? Does that work out okay?
It does, because I have made my work my family. So everything I do fits in around the children, and I get them involved because I need their input and their drawings and their ideas and their comments. And I'm just writing another one. I just remembered, Lizzie just sent it to me, with all my husband's paintings as the illustrations.
Yeah.
And then I got my children to say what they could see in the paintings, and I've turned that into a little storybook as well. So.
Oh, that sounds really sweet. I love all these ideas. I love that it's all just, all of you working together and coming up with really nice stories. I love that. So how are things for you at the moment with lockdown? How is that affecting your work?
It's okay. It's not as bad as I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
It's finding time to write is not easy.
Especially with kids at home.
Yeah, because you're always thinking, I've got to teach them this and I need to do this, and then they want food. They always want food. But I do get snippets of time where I can hide away and write bits and pieces. So
that's nice. Yeah, we're very much trying to balance it between us so that me and my husband can both get the work time that we need, and all the responsibility doesn't fall on either of us, but it's really tricky. Do you have a day job, or is this your everything?
Well, I can't do reflexology at the moment.
Of course, sorry, you said, of course, the reflexology. Yeah.
I'm working with Demelza Hospice Care for Children, doing some groups online for them. Lovely. So I do pieces while I'm at home. And then the charity stuff. So I'm on page 19 of 32 of the charity application.
I have just filled one of those in. It's stressful.
It's really complicated. Yeah.
Yep.
And then, it will get there.
Yeah, so keeping you very busy.
And then I've also done the Do Try This at Home school while I've been at home.
Yes, so tell us all about that. That's fabulous.
So that's my other website. For when I'm not doing anything else. I started it when I started homeschooling my son. So that's where all the blog posts are for living on rations. And everything I do, because I'm trained as a teacher, everything I do, I then post on social media for the Do Try This at Home school so that other people can use it at home with their children.
Yeah, we've used it. It's really nice. There's just some great ideas. We did some writing prompts from
good.
The
I like
those.
School.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice to just do something just to break away from, the set work and just say, okay, let's do something different. So how about with you homeschooling then? I guess that makes things a bit more, does it make it more manageable now that you kind of know what you're doing?
Well, you've seen the sorts of things that I do, so I'm trying to shoehorn them into the curriculum that I completely disagree with most of the time.
I know what you mean. I'm like, we should be doing this. However.
So I try and get a balance of of doing some school stuff and then some other more creative things, although secondary work is not as creative, is it?
It's not so easy, is it? Yeah, I think it helps being an ex-teacher. I've certainly found that I think when I've spoken to other people that the idea of teaching just seems a bit scary. So I think I'm kind of more in my comfort zone. I don't know about you.
I think schools. I think parents are scared sometimes and think, "Oh, I need to be a teacher to teach my children," and they forget that they taught them to walk and to talk and to eat and to be before school, and you can teach them. You just have to get on a level with them and play and do that sort of.
I think it's hard if it's things that you don't know and you've got to try and figure out what on earth all this stuff means.
YouTube is the place
for sure. YouTube just helps with everything.
Definitely.
Which is, why I make all the videos that I do, is to try and put out all the information that I can, and by filming these kind of interviews as well and sharing what we've done and how we do it and all that kind of stuff, it helps, I think.
Yeah, I've just done the 4 weeks of talk stuff for the Do Try This at Homeschool. I've tried to link it all to videos, so there's a bit of teacher input, and then there are bits that you can download and use at home if you want to.
That's lovely.
Lots of mess, lots of glitter, lots of glue.
Always makes me think of that Peppa Pig episode where they're like, don't want to use the glitter.
Yeah, that's my house.
I see. Very creative house with lots going on.
Yeah, it's a total mess, but we're all creative.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
Yeah, just come over. When this is all done, come round.
Let's. We can make a mess and live on rations.
I do have a secret shed at the end of the garden that's been turned into the messy shed at the moment.
So you've been relegated. The mess has been sent outside.
Yeah, well, it was my lovely reflexology shed, and now it's for glitter.
Well, I guess be back on the reflexology once things have changed again, but it's nice that in the meantime you've got lots and lots of projects to work on, lots of exciting things.
Plenty.
Well, unless you've got any other sort of tips or insights that you'd like to share, or there's anything we haven't covered, then I think we've talked about all sorts of things.
I don't think so. I think just
Well, I will link everything that you do, so your books and your website and the Play Well Trust and the Do Try This at Homeschool all below. There's some brilliant resources on there, so that everybody can go and have a look and follow you and see everything that you do.
Yes. Thank you.
But yeah, thank you very much for talking to me today, and hopefully we'll catch up eventually.
Yes. Like real people.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not so easy doing it this way on the computer. Fingers crossed that all the audio and everything comes out okay.
If it doesn't, we'll do it again.
True. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I will speak to you again soon.
Okay.